With E3 on the horizon, now is a good time to be saving them pennies for all those tasty games to come. So what better time to start playing free games on your PC? And here are some of the best free games around. One quick point, to appear in this list the game has to be completely free. No free to play games with microtransactions, and no free mods of games you have to buy. Everything is totally free. You'll find links to every game in the list in the description box below, so get clicking, once you've watched the video of course. Let's do it. Samorost is about a little man trying to stop a big spaceship crashing into his tiny spaceship. Well, I call them spaceships. Everything in Samorost is built from photographs of bits of bark and moss. It looks like a children's collage stuck up on the classroom wall. The difference is, you can poke these pictures to cause things to happen. Also, there's stuff here that would never make it into a children's classroom, like a weird man huffing on an ambiguous drug pipe, or an angry anteater that eats our hero alive and then pukes him back up. Or the squirrel with a woman's face and an awesome record collection. Actually, that last one should be in a classroom. No one would skip a lesson if it was taught by a mad rave squirrel. The puzzles are nice and gentle, more about working out the correct sequence of events. And the whole thing could be wrapped up in 20 minutes. It is free, remember, at which point you can track down the sequels, which are not free, so I'm not going to tell you about them. Sorry. Space Funeral is definitely the weirdest game on this list. It's a JRPG where the J stands for, geez, what is this? You play a man who can't stop crying who teams up with a horse built from severed legs. He's called Leg Horse, understandably so, and while he looks horrible, he's great at kicking things to death. And you'll be doing a lot of that as you weep around a world filled with criminals, bleeding heads, and a pig in a suit. Fights borrow the active time battle rules from Final Fantasy, but instead of fighting a cactuar, you're fighting a wolf that pukes up blood. Space Funeral is weirdly obsessed with blood, such as a title screen that offers you the option of blood, blood, or blood. If it has meaning, it's lost on me, but just taking it at face value makes it one of the funnier games I've played. You'll want to see what happens next, just to see what weirdness oozes out of the screen. And if it does creep you out, well, it's not as if you had to pay anything for it. You might know Desktop Dungeons from the wonderful Steam version released in 2013, but you can still play the game's 2010 prototype for free. Yes, the newer game adds a lot, but the solid gold idea was there from day one. Imagine a roguelike in Fast Forward. Trapped in a dungeon, you have to work out an efficient path around a limited number of items and monsters in order to level up and take down the boss creature. Done right and the adventure is over in 10 minutes, which frees up time for playing the other 9 games on this list. Ideally, you want to work from low-level beasties upwards, but sometimes you won't be able to reach them, so you have to start weighing up whether to use magic or turn to religion to bring down a tougher monster and leapfrog a level or 2. It turns each dungeon into a giant sequence puzzle, letting you plan moves with clockwork precision. It also has a Super Meat Boy in it, which most good games usually do. So play away, and if you find yourself hooked, do consider the full fat edition for a lifetime of micro-adventures. If you've ever been stuck in a traffic jam and thought that you could do a better job of local infrastructure, then Open Transport Tycoon is for you. It is a community-led remake of 1994's Transport Tycoon. It adds a few quality of life tweaks for the modern player, and more importantly, is totally free. The aim is to build a transport empire, one that can sustain your business from the days of the steam train all the way to the future. If public transport in modern Great Britain is anything to go by, this is an easy task to mess up. It is fascinating to watch technology change and your plans get more ambitious with it. And even if you're not interested in the evolution of the bus, there's something very therapeutic about laying railway tracks or linking cities with scenic routes. Or you can just sit back and watch your tiny airplanes fly over chunky field pixels below. Now, I'm not sure how you pronounce this next one. Is it Knytt? Knight? Knytt, maybe? It's the kind of game that's so chilled out, I'm not sure it minds what you call it. Apparently, it's a Swedish word which translates as tiny creature, which is exactly what you play as. You've been kidnapped by an alien and his ship has crashed, forcing you to clamber about a big blocky world looking for ship parts. It's one of those Metroid-alike games with lots of snaking tunnels bringing you out in surprising places. I love that it's squeezed into this aspect ratio, as you are constantly wondering what's hidden above and below. Making a leap of faith is particularly hair-raising when you're tumbling past screen after screen of landscape. It's hypnotically calm as the pitter-patter of the tiny creature's feet mixed with music so relaxed it's amazing your ears don't fall asleep. You can die, but only when you mess up the generous wall jump. In fact, this spider is one of the only things trying to actively kill you, and even his heart isn't really in it. No, Knytt/Knytt/Knytt is a perfect pocket of peace. Not bad for £0. The battle for Wesnoth is what happens when a free game goes a bit mad, grows bigger than some paid releases, but somehow still remains free. It first released in 2003, yet here we are with more and more battles to enjoy. Perhaps we shouldn't be surprised that the battle for Wesnoth continues to grow and grow. It's a turn-based strategy game about pushing out into new territory in order to build bigger and better forces. It's all about expansion and killing goblins, which doesn't really fit into my metaphor. It reminds me most of Nintendo's Fire Emblem series, both in the fantasy setting and the way you nurture an army over long campaigns and get stupidly upset when your most loyal soldier bites the big one. That arrow only had a 20% chance of killing him, but you try explaining hit probabilities to his grieving mother. And considering the game has grown to 16 full story campaigns, there's a whole lot of heartbreak waiting to be discovered. No financial cost then, but emotionally? Good luck with that. Next up is Robot Unicorn Attack, where a metal unicorn jumps over gaps and headbutts magic crystals. It's an endless runner game, as if someone looked at Cannibal and thought, that needs more robot unicorns. Oh, and the song Always by Erasure. And that's what we get, a robot unicorn going at a demented gallop with a 1994 synth-pop banger blasting out in the background. It's the song that makes this game work. It builds naturally so the game gets more and more exciting, so does the song. When the chorus finally kicks in, your hand is already shaking from the score accumulating on screen. This is your moment to shine, to show the world that yes, you are the best robot unicorn that ever lived. Only then your face crunches into a boulder. Now you have to look at your robot unicorn's decapitated head, crying fat robot unicorn tears. Time to hit restart and make it up to the poor beast. Hey, it's not like you're paying, right? Dwarf Fortress is many games in one, and all of them free. Yes, it's primarily about building a dwarf fortress, but before you even get to that bit, you have to birth the entire world. This part is mind-blowing, as rivers develop and civilizations grow over hundreds of years. It's like a sequence from a Terrence Malick film, only Terrence Malick films don't end with a dwarf killing an albatross. Not the ones I've seen anyway. You see, once the world and its history has been born, you can go adventuring in it, exploring the cultures and cities that procedurally emerge during its growth. Think of it as an infinite Skyrim generator. Yeah, you have to use a bit of imagination to bring the tiles to life, but there are still moments of stunning beauty. Look at the waves come rolling in. That ocean didn't even exist 2 minutes ago. It's a deep and daunting game for sure, but there's a whole community ready to guide you. I've put a link to Rock Paper Shotgun's own beginner's guide in the description. It helped me get a foothold, so don't be afraid to try it yourself. It's an experience that money can't buy. I mean, literally, it's free. Now, you're probably familiar with N, or as I like to pronounce it, which is the noise I make when I die for the millionth time. You play as a nimble ninja who leaps around deadly mazes, collecting door keys and dots. At least that's the idea. In my clumsy hands, it's about a ninja who jumps into spikes. And missiles. And whatever this electrical thing is. The person I feel sorry for is the janitor, who has to sweep up the ninja limbs at the end of each day. If you've got more nimble fingers, however, they'll enjoy the 500 maps included here. I've made it through about 22 of them. I can only imagine the kind of galaxy brain you'd need to weave through the later challenges. Of course, developers Metanet have grown the idea since then with 2 juicy sequels, N+ and N++, which you can buy on PC. But the core ideas, that is, acrobatics and misery, are both readily available here for nothing. Just try not to chew your knuckles off in anger. Ah, Spelunky. How we love your winding tunnels and constant threat of death by bat. We love Spelunky HD, but before that took over our lives, we were hopelessly devoted to the free version. And even though there is a shinier version of the game for sale, you can still download and play that original. This is the game that was remastered as Spelunky HD. Think of it as peeling away the 1080p skin and revealing the pixelated bones beneath. There are differences that make this worth playing if you're familiar with the newer version. There are tiny tweaks to movement physics, enemies behave in unpredictable ways, and there are sneaky exploits that were removed for its more polished big brother. The newer version is definitely a fuller game, but the free original still powers along with that sense of excitement about what challenge it might throw up next. At the very least, it's another infinite adventure with no price tag, which is the most precious artifact you'll ever find. Those are my picks of the best free games on PC. You can find details of where to play them in the description box. Of course, there are mountains of great free games on PC, so please do fill in the comment box below with suggestions. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and why not subscribe to Rock Paper Shotgun for more videos on the subject of PC gaming. Like all the best things in life, it's totally free. And hit that notification bell so that our videos actually reach you. Thanks for sticking around all the way to the end. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.